Remember when you saw the Lilo and Stitch movie and were trying to figure out why Stitch's real name was Experiment 626? Who or what were all of the other 600 or so experiments? Today we're going to explain all of Stitch's cousins and how they fit into the classic franchise. Lilo and Stitch was a massive hit when the movie debuted in 2002. It's a heartwarming animated film from Disney about an unusual friendship between a lonely Hawaiian girl named Lilo and a chaotic alien experiment named Stitch. Stitch, then known as Experiment 626, escapes from his creator, Dr. Jumba, and crash lands on Earth, where he pretends to be a dog and gets adopted by Lilo. While Stitch was created to destroy, Lilo teaches him about love, family, and ohana, the Hawaiian belief that family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. Together, they navigate social services, space bounty hunters, and their own personal struggles, ultimately proving that even the most unlikely individuals can become a family. But back in space, Stitch seems to have his own family. Over 600 cousins, each with their own unique powers and characteristics. But as it turns out, we have only seen a portion of these alien experiments, due to the limited number of movies and TV shows on the subject. We know the names and numbers of 449 of them, but not much else. So let's start off with what we do know. The villain of the franchise, Dr. Jumba Jukiba, and his lab partner, Javon Hamsterville, worked together for nearly 25 years. Their early experiments between 0 and 99 are considered to be in his test batch or just made to be simple household helpers. The first model they created was Experiment 000, known as Cyber, which was originally a purple version of Stitch with all of his abilities. Cyber was so strong, he was indestructible, could think faster than a supercomputer, spit acid, walk on walls, and was even fire and bulletproof. However, 0 was later turned into a black cyborg experiment with spider-like legs, a half-metal face, and mechanical arms which could transform into things like lasers, harpoons, and even a welding torch. He was like a crazy Terminator Stitch. Next up, we have Shrink 001, a small purple experiment with a purple lower jaw and chest, 3 wobbly legs, 2 stubby little arms, and 2 floppy antennae. This was the first experiment Hamsterville actually funded, and with its antennae, it has the power to change the size of an object, any object. But not all experiments have these amazing abilities. For example, Experiment 002, Double Dip, was designed to do just that. It would double dip foods, that is, lick them, and then put them back in the bowl. Why this ability? We don't know. Regardless, Double Dip found his home among Mrs. Hasagawa's cats, and is featured in Leroy and Stitch. That leads us to Experiment 003 through 006, How Come, Squawk, Trucks, and Percy. Little is known about them other than name and number, and possibly just pod form. Now to Experiment 007, Gigi, also known as Yapper. This one looks like a white Shih Tzu dog, with a purple bow and was designed to annoy people with constant barking. However, aside from that, she's pretty much just a normal dog and likes to lick, do tricks, and fetch the morning paper. It's also revealed that she can speak English very well and enjoys being Myrtle's pet. Experiment 008, Carmine, is designed to smother people in caramel. Experiment 009, Pop, a small orange monkey-like experiment whose tail was used as a pump to blow up balloons to the size of the room he is in so that he could pop them and disorient those nearby, and also cause frizzy hair. Experiment 010. Felix, later known as Oscar, is a nod to the 1970s sitcom, The Odd Couple. He is a small green creature with an elephant-like nose, which he can use to suck up any dirt or grime that he finds. He was originally designed to sterilize, disinfect, and clean everything in sight. However, his programming began to cause him to take extreme and dangerous measures to keep everything clean. He threw anything away, assuming it was trash, and tried to sterilize anyone, assuming they were germs. O10 was then upgraded by Jumba to make him less of a neat freak. However, the upgrade malfunctioned, and instead, O10 was turned into a dirt maker named Oscar. The only word that O10 can say is dirty. As Felix, he said it disgustedly, while when upgraded to Oscar, he exclaims it happily as he makes a mess. Experiments 011, 012, and 013 are lovingly named Inkstain, Antitherm, and Furry, respectively. Next up, we have Experiment 014, Colonel. He's a tan gourd-shaped experiment with a large opening at the top of his head, designed to pop popcorn. His true calling isn't a movie theater. Little is known about experiments 015 to 019, who are named Ruggles, Malt, Lids, Puck, and Clumsy. Based on those monikers, it's fun to imagine what kind of abilities they have. Experiment 020, Slick, a pink, fast-talking salesman who wears a hat, bow tie, and carries a cane. He's designed to sell anything to anyone. He finds he's best used for charity fundraisers, which capitalizes on his persuasive charm to help support local nonprofits. Experiment 021, Twang. He was designed to annoy those around him by playing folk music. Interestingly enough, Twang is one of the few experiments that we don't actually get to see, but who we do know about, as his DNA was used to create Experiment 145, Bragg, who could play a folksy flute. Experiment 022, Hertz Donut, is a bit more aggressive. This seahorse-looking alien was designed to restrain and immobilize others. He asks them if they've ever had a Hertz Donut. Then he fires energy which solidifies into a donut around his target and says, Hertz Donut. Experiment 023 is just a name, Cyclo. Experiment 024, Hamlet, is yet another one of Mrs. Hasagawa's cats, though again, we don't get to see them in this episode. All we really know is that Pleakley asks, is that the one who can turn everything into ham? Experiment 025, Topper, is a yellow star-shaped experiment designed to be a beacon to signal the alien attack fleet. But the official Disney website states his purpose is to keep individuals awake with his bright light. Topper is given to a little girl as a Christmas present, then placed atop the local Christmas tree. His light shines so bright that aliens from other galaxies can see him from Earth. His number is likely a reference to Christmas Day, December 25th. 026 to 028 are known as Pawn, Plushie, and Lori. Next up, 029, Checkers. Checkers is a yellow and purple centipede-like experiment that sits curled up like a crown on individuals' heads, designed to make his wearer a king or queen by hypnotizing those around them. With the exception of higher experiments, when Checker is removed, his effects will wear off. Lilo eventually found a home for Checkers, where he is being used as a decorative crown at festivals. 030 is Violet, and that's all we know about it. Got you. Experiment 031 is an orange lobster-like experiment designed to run around and pinches things with his 4 pincers. His favorite place is with Mrs. Hasagawa as one of her cats. Experiment 032, Fibber, is a lie detector. Whenever he hears a lie, the pattern on his head will light up and beep loudly. The bigger the lie, the louder he beeps and brighter the lights. Next up, we have Experiment 033, Hammerface, who looks like a blue dinosaur. He was designed to drive in nails around Jumba's house with his hammer-shaped head, but at times he will pound living things. Experiment 034 and 35 are named Splort and the very normal human name Philip. Similar to Hammerface, we have Pokey, Experiment 036, who is designed to poke holes and cause leaks with his spiked tail. Snipper, Platts, and Atlas are the names of 037 through 039. Continuing on this construction theme, we have number 040, Backhoe, with a gray mole-like design. Backhoe is an excellent digger who was designed to dig and destroy vegetation. Experiments 041 through 043 go by the names Kish, Itch, and Cubesteak. Make way for number 044, Forehead. This truly bizarre experiment is a pink 4-headed mustached creature with 4 arms and 4 red bow ties on his necks that speaks English. Designed to sing barbershop music off-key, agonizing anyone who hears it, he's another one of Mrs. Hasagawa's cats. 045 and 046 are reminiscent of a schoolyard bully as Melvin and Wedgie. We're kinda glad we hadn't seen these characters in action. Okay, I guess I spoke too soon because Experiment 047, a blue platypus type named Lowrider, was specifically designed to humiliate people by pulling down their pants. Experiments 048 through 050 are referred to as Echo, Picker, and Dunk, respectively. Meanwhile, Experiment 051, Hawker, with his giant blue nose, spits acidic saliva that can eat through wood in 3 seconds. He enjoys his life with Mrs. Hasagawa's cats. Now, completely opposite on the disgusting scale is Experiment 052, Coco, featured in the Disney Adventure magazine. Coco's ability is to turn objects into chocolate, which made him a sweet present, as he was given to Lilo by Stitch for her birthday. We haven't seen O53 yet, but his name is Wine. Probably not the most fun one to be around. Keeping with the previous theme, we have O54 Fudgy. Jumba made this blob of an alien entirely out of chocolate and is used to drown people in that chocolate. Yum. Moving down the list, we have quite a few mysterious beings, so here's a list of the missing experiments. O61, Anachronator. Now, on to one we know more about. O62, French Fry. A small gray and white mustached experiment, he's the only one that we know of to speak French, and was created to be Jumba's personal chef. Using his spatula tail and lightning speed, French Fry can whip up any food in an instant. However, he would give off Hansel and Gretel vibes as he loved making unhealthy food, which made people fat, and then he ate them. Thankfully, he learned that healthy food is also delicious. So now he runs a healthy French fry hut. Here's the next group that we know little about. O74 is Welko, who looks like a balloon dog that can blow temporary indestructible bubbles. Her body is also made up partially of helium, causing her to float. O75, Woo Woo, and O76, Bath Mat, are now left up to our imagination. Next we have Zop, number O77. Zop is a fat purple being designed to irritate people by snoring as loudly as possible. He fits right in with Mrs. Asagawa's cats. Here are more unknown experiments. Next up we have experiment O86, Clink. Clink is a big green crab-like experiment with a small jail cell inside of its stomach. It was designed to capture enemies by splitting himself in half and joining together again around his target. When his body is separated, each half can act independently and has its own mind. O87, Puddles, and O88, Discrifer, are our next unknowns on the list. So we'll move right along to experiment O89, Skip. Designed to skip time by 10 minutes because Jumba was too impatient to wait for his microwave to reheat his leftovers. However, there was an error in his program, so he skips time by 10 years instead of 10 minutes. Thankfully, Skip has a reset button on top of his head that can send people back to their correct time. We don't have much information on O90 through O99, so here's a list. That concludes the Zero Series experiments, bringing us to the 100s, which focus mainly on civic disturbances. We previously learned that the Zero Series were designed to be tests or household helpers, so I'm definitely interested to see how much more disturbing these guys will be. Right off the bat, 100 and 101 are unknowns, other than their names of Trickster and Trike. Experiment 102, Stop-Go, is a strange-looking experiment with a very long neck, like a traffic pole, and a traffic light-shaped head with green and red lights on it. He was designed to use these lights to cause traffic jams. However, he later turned good and now acts as a normal traffic light. Next up is Stamen. Experiment 103 was designed to prevent pollination by attracting bees and other insects to himself, rather than flowers. We know that without pollination, it would be absolutely devastating to the environment, food chain, and food supply. So Stamen definitely lives up to the hype of civic disturbances. And here, we already have some lesser-known experiments, so check out this list. 110 is Squeak, who sounds cute as a little red mouse, but is anything but. As an experiment designed to annoy entire planets with his non-stop talking, extremely high-pitched sounds, and megaphone-style voice. Now we have Mulch at 111. He's a red experiment that resembles a push mower. Mulch is designed to tear up the ground beneath him, but he fits in surprisingly as one of Mrs. Hasagawa's cats. Moving down to 112, we have Toons. He was originally designed to turn everyone into cartoons, but was later modified to transform into the subject of any picture that was put into his mouth. A third iteration allowed him to bring any two-dimensional picture to life. Spinning his collar reverts his creations back to their original form. Shu is experiment 113 and was designed to control luck. When his horns are up, they cause good luck. When his horns are down, they cause bad luck. He can be switched from bad luck to good luck by flipping his horseshoe. He found his calling at a miniature golf course where he makes people score hole-in-ones. What luck! The next 5 experiments we know little about, so here's a list. Now we have experiment 119, Inverto. In an episode of Leroy and Stitch, experiment 054 Fudgy was mistakenly labeled as 119 and misunderstood to be experiment 611 because his pod was upside down. An ironic coincidence given experiment 119's codename, Inverto. Number 120 is Snafu, a small reptilian-like experiment designed to ruin his enemy's plans by any means necessary, including plans to catch him. The only way he can be caught is without plan or accidentally. Experiment 121 is sappy and has only been seen in pod form. Dorkifier number 122 is designed to cause people to look ridiculous in order to humiliate them and compromise their self-respect. Though 122 is not actually evil, he is the only one who can reverse the process. Similar to 113, when his horns are pointed upwards, his ray causes humiliating appearances. When his horns turn downwards, it reverses the process and stops the humiliation. Then we have Experiment 123, Carmen, a pink, blue-eyed, antennaless experiment wearing a headdress of fruits and holding a maraca in each of her 4 hands. She is named after Carmen Miranda and is designed to make victims dance until they drop. She is also fluent in Spanish. Similar to what happened with Inverto, Experiment 124, Rhymer, was only mentioned because another experiment was mislabeled due to Jumba's messy database. In this case, it was Hammerface, and very little is known about the real Rhymer. Numbers 125, 126, and 127 go by the names Gibberish, Stank, and Dem Bums. Cute. We do know about 128, Bugsby, who looks like a little green mosquito. He was designed to turn entire civilizations into harmless insects, but was later reprogrammed to only turn inanimate objects into insects. His one true place is helping farmers by turning rocks into swarms of aphid-eating ladybugs. Bugsby eventually found a home working on a farm where he transforms rocks into ladybugs so that they can help protect the crops from pests. Experiments 129 and 130 go by Crutch and Bones, which could pass for a 90s R&B group. 131, known as Poic, was seen in The Stitch Show, and Spoonie, as number 132, was seen in pod form in the Experiment Profiler special feature on the DVD of Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch has a glitch. Number 133 goes by PJ, which stands for Practical Joker. He looks like an orange koala and wears joke eyeglasses with a fake nose and mustache resembling those of Groucho Marx. He is designed to play practical jokes on people and thrives as an opening act for Moses' hula gig. Next up is number 134, Shredder. He is designed to shred important documents and finds a home with Mrs. Hasagawa as one of her cats. Experiments 135 through 144 have some funky names, including number 139. I know you are, but what am I? Check out this list for more clever monikers. Moving on to 145, Bragg. He was quite the story, as he was originally an ugly green ogre-like experiment designed to annoy individuals by telling tall tales. Jumba repurposed some of Experiment 021's DNA when creating him, granting him musical ability in Stitch. Hamstervale changes his appearance and causes Bragg to gain power from sympathy, as he tells sad stories and acts generally cute. He grows stronger and stronger from this sympathy and grows multiple arms with huge muscles. 146 Flashbomb and 147 Newton are on the list of experiments we know little about. We do know more about Weasel, number 148, a brown weasel-like experiment. He was designed to climb up planetary leaders' pants' legs during public appearances. Number 149 is referred to as Bonnie and was found with number 150 Clyde. Named after the notorious bank robbers, they're designed to steal things without the victim's knowledge, and Bonnie uses her special weapons, a pistol and plasma gun, while Clyde uses a Swiss Army knife-like gun for a right hand. Both 149 and 150 are captured and end up in prison as convicts, but they are paroled as part of the rescue party in Snafu. Experiment 151 looks cute, but the baby fire cripples whole planets by turning the adults into babies with a pink powder shaken from his rattle-like tail. Thankfully, there is an antidote made from a very special recipe of applesauce, milk, bananas, and coffee. Babyfire serves a good purpose at the animal shelter by making older dogs young again, which makes them more appealing to potential adopters. We don't know much about number 152, Mama Frida, but we know that 153 XYZ is referred to as the pants zipper opener. Yikes! This list shows the next 4 experiments who we know little about. Finder, Experiment 158, looks like an aardvark and is designed to find anything and honk when he finds it, even spinning his ears like helicopter blades if necessary in order to find what he has been asked to locate. He uses his powers for good by running a lost and found service on the beach. Here's the next batch of experiments we know little about. Now we have Experiment 177, Clip, who is reminiscent of Edward Scissorhands. She has claws that can cut through anything and loves to clip hair. She targets people with long hair and will chase them down just to give them an involuntary haircut. She actually eats hair and grows larger and larger with each bite, to where she can only be tamed by shampoo and hair conditioning products. She later finds purpose in her abilities working in a hair salon. At the tail end of the hundreds group, we have a large chunk of unknown experiments, as shown here. To finish this group of civic disturbances, we have 199 Nosy. Built like a little red pig, she's designed to snoop out enemy secrets by eavesdropping on conversations and spread gossip. Nosy has a large nose and ears, and he's always getting into other people's business. Heading into the 2 series experiments, which identify as technological and scientific. Right off the bat, we know very little about 200 Adam or 201 Geigenstein. Experiment 202 Jam is a purple bat lizard-like experiment with 4 arms, a lion-like tail, large wings on his shoulders, and a Stitch-like face. He was designed to jam radars with his high-pitched screeching. Terrifying. Snipe, number 203, was only seen in pod form. So we'll move on to number 204, No Socks. No Socks is a gray experiment shaped like a 4-legged washing machine designed to make socks disappear. Here's a list of experiments with little information. Experiment 210 is a cool little guy who looks like a small orange dinosaur. Retro is designed to turn enemy weapons and technology into their most primitive state by wrapping his tongue around the object, rendering the object useless. This process also works on individuals and other items, and it can be reversed by spanking 210's bottom 3 times while his tongue is wrapped around the de-evolved person or thing. He somehow found a use for these talents by making a prehistoric zoo. 211 Jangle, 212 Too Late, and 213 UHF are the next batch of unknown experiments. We do know a lot about number 214, Pix. He's a blue, camera-like experiment with 3 legs, similar to a tripod. Designed to take only bad pictures of individuals, he takes the pictures with his nose and develops the pictures like a Polaroid camera with the pictures coming out of his mouth. Pix, like many others, found a home with Mrs. Hasagawa as one of her cats. Experiments 215 through 219 are shown here. Moving on to Millie at number 220, a giant green millipede-like experiment with a koala-like face. She was designed to plug the holes in air filters crucial to all H drives with its multiple legs. Sounds dangerous. Sparky Experiment 221 lights up the screen in several of the Stitch shows. His body can turn into an electrical current, so he can also fly or travel through outlets, power lines, and machines. He was the first experiment that Lilo and Stitch met and rehabilitated, first appearing in Stitch, the movie. He used his abilities to power the old lighthouse that had been abandoned for requiring too much electricity. The next experiment is a little on the gross side. Poxy is number 222 and was designed to transmit diseases to popular planetary leaders and disable them. The symptoms are purple pimples, smelly feet, a swollen eye, and uncontrollable burping. When he eventually becomes good, he cures health problems. Poxy slightly resembles the next experiment, Glitch, or 223. He operates like a computer virus by turning technology against its user by entering machines and making them malfunction. He found his place inside Lilo's video game, making the games more difficult. All we know about Experiment 224 is its name, Tweak. We do know that number 225, Mashy, was designed to crush orbs of nearly indestructible eubernium to useless pulp. Number 226, Combo, is another unknown. But number 227, Butter, is like a tan mammoth creature used to knock through doors. Melty is up next, number 228. He looks like a small red dragon and was designed to melt enemy fortresses, weapons, and transportation with a bright blue blast from his mouth. He found his calling burning metal at the recycling plant. Number 229 was not so lucky with his fate. Kingpin was designed as a target for military war games. Experiments 230 through 233 are unknown and shown here. Next, 234 is Shush. He was designed to eavesdrop on private enemy conversations. To stop him from eavesdropping, someone must pat him on the head, so he curls up his speaker-like tail and folds his large ears downward. He uses his powers as a CIA operative. The next group of unknowns are... Next up is 248, Belle, who can sing in a high-pitched shriek that shatters glass and disorients enemies. However, she works great as Nani's alarm clock. Experiment 249, Sproing, a blue koala-like creature designed to launch boulders. Her true calling is helping people reach high places. Information about number 250, Lacrosse, is unavailable, but we do know about 251, Link. This guy has long antennae that shoot a sticky substance that only dissolves in mud. He is designed to bind together incompatible individuals, usually by the hand or wrist. The next duo of unknown experiments go by Crete and Uncrete at 252 and 253. Experiment 254, Mr. Stenchy is designed to be so incredibly cute that he can penetrate any target area. Once at the target location, he is a ticking stink bomb. 42 hours after his activation, he begins to give off an odor so noxious it'll make a 40-square-mile area uninhabitable for decades. Luckily, he eventually stops emitting the vile fumes. Mrs. Sickly is just as cute as Mr. Stenchy, but 255 is designed to make individuals sick with her nauseating sweet fumes. If 255's sweet emissions combine with 254's stinky smell, the chemical reaction will cause a catastrophic explosion capable of destroying the planet they inhabit. Moving on, we have 256 Addie and 257 Ratat on the lesser-known list. This next guy is helpful on the musical world. Experiment 258 goes by Sample and was designed to annoy enemies by making random sounds with his mouth or his ears, and he also climbs walls. His talent is great for providing backbeats for a rhythmless musical group. 259, 260, and 261 are unknowns and go by Rash, GPS, and BV Beverton, respectively. Ace falling at 252 is an interesting experiment as it has no evil function. He is a failed experiment that is pure good and is the only one programmed not to cause trouble. Another fun fact is that his experiment number 262 is the inverse of 626, Stitch's number. Ace is a purely heroic experiment, and Stitch has been designed to be purely destructive, thus the opposite of 262. More lesser-known experiments are... Then we have 267, Wishy-Washy. Looks like a little teddy bear with fairy wings that enable him to fly. He also has a wand on his head that lights up every time a wish is granted, and is also good for throwing an unsuspecting opponent like Stitch. He's designed to be a wish giver that grants any wish he hears, but he translates the wishes literally, so they may not turn out quite as expected. He does not allow wishing for more wishes, and also has a limit to the number of wishes he grants. A small meter on his stomach starts out completely red, and as wishes are granted, the meter slowly goes down. When white, all the wishes are gone, and 267 is deemed useless. Here are 4 more unknown experiments. Sliding down to number 272 is Wormhole, who is designed to generate portals to parallel universes. However, he has no control over which universe the portal leads to. He has advanced language programming to assist him as he explores alternate realities and has a tracking device implanted so Jumba would be able to locate the experiment in whatever universe it travels to. 273, Box Boom, is unknown. Heading to experiment 274, we have Alexander, named after the inventor of the telephone. His power is a little bit of a relic in that he was designed to make lots of long-distance telephone calls to run up the cost of a phone bill. 275 goes by Tickle Tummy and is able to jump really high and tickle anyone into submission. She has long fingers that she uses to restrain individuals in a state of endless laughter. Remy, number 276, is really creepy. He was designed to enter a sleeping person's head and turn dreams into nightmares. If the person wakes up while he is still inside, 276 will remain there permanently to turn all future dreams into nightmares. True nightmare fuel. Slightly less disturbing but a little gross is 277, Snooty. He was designed to find and enrich snootonium, a rare element that becomes extremely dangerous once enriched. Snootonium has a similar chemical makeup as that of mucus. To help clean her sinuses, Lilo's friend Victoria decides to keep Snooty as a pet. Now here's a group of our next unknowns. On the other hand, here is a guy we know about, Experiment 285, Lax. As indicated by his name, Lax is designed to fire a green ray from his antenna that will cause anything it hits to stop working. A person hit with 285's ray will relax, and even a machine hit with the ray will shut down. He uses his talent ultimately at the airport, making grouchy business people enjoy their vacation. We have little information on 286, Galassifier, and 287, Burl. We now have Boomer at 288, who was designed to be a living boomerang. He fits right in with Mrs. Hasagawa as one of her cats. The next 8 experiments are unknown, so here's a list with their names and numbers. Down we go to Shortstuff 297. He likes to sort out electronics by going inside and cutting the mechanism and electrical wiring. His size was greatly increased by accident thanks to Jumba's growth ray. He ultimately made his home in an amusement park ride. Finishing off the 2 series are 2 unknowns, Cat at 298 and Dimensionator at 299. Heading into the 3 series, we have the psychological experiments. First up is Experiment 300, Spooky. Spooky's a green blob who looks like Oogie Boogie. He appears during Halloween and can take on the appearance of anyone's worst fear. He uses this to scare people, but once captured, he learned to use his powers for good instead of evil, turning ideas into silly versions of monsters to make kids laugh. He now works as a greeter at a haunted house. 301 and 302 are unknowns that go by Progno and Noidster. Next is Amnesio at 303. He was designed to erase people's memories by zapping a red laser in their eyes. The password Ohana must be spoken to reverse its effects. This list shows the next group of unknowns in the 3 series. Coming in at 316, we have Morpholomeu, a red blob who was designed to change organisms into anything else. However, someone who has been morphed keeps the same voice and needs 316 to change back. He found his calling in a costume store. Little is known about 317 Hikester and 318 Chortle, but we are familiar with 319 Spike. He's designed to make 99% of the population silly and useless by pricking them with his spines, leaving only 1% of the population smart. Spike is actually quite affectionate and loves to hug. Cloudy comes in at number 320 and likes to depress everyone with his constant rain. 321 Lightfoot is unknown. Next is Heckler at 322. He's a mean little guy, designed to verbally insult people based on appearance and personality. His insults can be diffused by accepting that they're true. He uses this ability sitting on a dunk tank when he provokes people to try and dunk him. Experiment 323, Hunka Hunka is much more loving in that when he pecks people with his beak, he makes them artificially fall in love with the first person they see. The effect is reversed by being sprayed with water. The next 16 experiments listed are unknowns. Experiment 340 is every chocoholic's nightmare. No Deserto is designed to steal puddings, cakes, pies, and other sweets, thereby causing mass depression. His name is often forgotten, and so he is usually referred to as What's His Name? The next group of unknowns we have is 341, Wafty, 342, Greensleeves, and 343, Cha-Ching. At 344, we have Dupe. He's able to make clones of objects, but each duplicate is not as powerful as the original. He has a reverse function that can turn duplicates back into the original. He's making a good life making low-fat, low-calorie ice cream cones at Lukey's Shave Ice with experiment 523, Slushy. Moving on to Elastico 345, he was designated to distract enemies by performing tricks with his elastic body, and was found already activated and in his favorite place, the circus. Little is known about the next several experiments as shown here. Now we have 355 Swapper. He's able to switch individuals' minds, but can also undo the switch. In his episode, he switches Lilo with Stitch, Jumbo with Pleakley, and Hamstervale with Guntu, and eventually switches all their minds back into their original bodies. Experiment 356, Rippington, and 357, Downs are unknown. One of the only experiments to speak English comes in at number 358, Manners. Shaped like a black penguin, he acts like a doorman or butler, designed to make individuals too polite to fight back against bullies, by sprinkling a special dust from his finger onto them. His real home is with Mrs. Hasagawa as one of her cats. Phoebe, number 359, is unknown. Experiment 360 is next, named Drowsy. It's not quite counting sheep, but designed to put people to sleep by bleeding. The effect is close to permanent, but can be reversed with a splash of water. Next up is another group of unknowns. Moving on to 375, which is Phantasmo. This guy is like a super creepy ghost as he can possess inanimate objects and bring them to life. He can also travel through weapons and any materials used to capture experiments, such as nets and bottles. Now we have another group of unknowns. Sliding down to Swirly, Experiment 383, he can hypnotize anyone with his spiral eyes, and they will obey the next command that they hear. The effect can be undone by snapping one's fingers. He can make people do his bidding, forget things, or act totally out of character. Swirly eventually found his calling working at parties, hypnotizing people to act silly. Here are several more unknown experiments in the 3 series. Let's wiggle our way over to 390, Slimy, a large green slug-like experiment with 3 spines on his back. He's designed to leave a slippery snail-like trail behind him to trip up enemies. The next group of unknown experiments have surprisingly ordinary names. Closing out the 3 series, we have 397, Spats, who was designed to make people fight with each other by zapping them with a beam fired from the ends of his tail. The cure for this is to stop and count to 10. His true calling is in Wizard Kelly's professional wrestling show, where Spats can make pro wrestlers fight more convincingly. We finished the 3 series with 398, Gus II, and 399 Super X. We've made our way to the 400 series of experiments, which tend to be a secret and mysterious series of militaristic and mostly failed experiments. Many of these creations were never seen on the show, so information is limited, but we do know they are some of the most mind-bending and emotionally manipulative ones in the Lilo and Stitch universe. The first experiment in this group, Precious, number 400, is based on The Lord of the Rings. It was supposed to have its own episode, but due to copyright issues, the idea was shelved. The next 11 experiments are unknown. The next 3 experiments all involve food. 412, Char was designed to burn food. 413, Botulator was designed to cause food to spoil. And 414, Krusty spreads mold on bread. 415, Patter doesn't deal with food, but does manage to eat. He eats 1 sock from a pair, leaving just 1 behind. Not cool. We've come to quite a lengthy section of unknown experiments, so enjoy this massive list. At number 455, we have one of my favorite names, Mary. This is an interesting moniker for her job description, as she is the bouncer for Jumba's lab and hip checks any unwanted guests. Here is another large chunk of lesser-known experiments. The last experiment in the 4 series that we have details on is Hugo at 489. He is large and purple with 6 tentacles. He's one of the scariest creatures, and he's designed to squeeze the life out of a person. This next group rounds out the 4 series with little information. Moving on to the 5 series, a group of elemental and environmental manipulators. These guys use things like fire, water, earthquakes, food, and more natural resources to cause destruction. Although we don't have any info on the first experiment, 500, cooler. We do know a lot about 501, Yin. She is one half of a pair experiment, the other being Yang, and her power is to condense moisture in the air into water and spray water from her tentacles. She can also cause calmness and peace to any situation. Later, she uses her gift to run meditation classes. The opposite of Yin, experiment 502, Yang, causes aggression and chaos. He's designed to shoot lava from the pits along his back and causes people to get angry. Yang was activated with Yin. Jumba said that if they came together, they would cause a giant explosion, but they turned out to be a good example of Yin and Yang and cancel out each other's powers. 503, Comet, and 504, Bling Bling are unknowns. Next, we have 505, Plute. He makes dolphin sounds at normal size and monster sounds when he grows bigger. He was designed to flood entire cities with thick black slug made from trash and pollution that he collects. His 2 antennae become like giant smokestacks, letting pollution into the air. Air freshener can dissolve his slug and make him clean. Little is known about 506, Ugg. We know that Woody, 507, looks like a brown beaver with insect-like pincers. He's able to eat wood very quickly and ultimately goes to live with Mrs. Hasagawa as one of her cats. Phil, experiment 508, is an unknown. Moving on to 509, Sprout, who is a plant-like throwback to Little Shop of Horrors. With a green stem, leaf-like body, vines, and a purple lizard face, he was designed to sprout into an uncontrollable forest of destruction. 510, Drill, 511, Wilt, and 512, Bog are unknowns. Next is Richter at 513. He can cause earthquakes by thumping his tail. He learned how to make milkshakes and eventually found his home, helping demolish abandoned buildings. 514, Cone, is an unknown. Now at 515 is Deforestator, a big purple wombat-like creature with long claws on his front paws and a blade-like neck. He's designed to cut down entire forests. The next 3 unknowns are 516, Anti, 517, Parch, and 518, Flame. Splat rolls in at number 519. He is a large green experiment with 2 cone-shaped antennae and a roller between his front legs. He's designed to level entire cities with his deceptively small roller. Experiment 520 Cannonball was designed to make big waves or tsunamis. Lilo and Stitch are afraid of his power because they think he's going to create an island flooding tsunami, but it turns out that 520 can control the size of his waves, making them helpful for surfing and transportation. Wrapper comes next at 521. He's designed to wrap things up like a mummy using a roll of paper for a tail. He ultimately found a home with Mrs. Hasagawa as one of her cats. Experiment 522 Tarantula is unknown. Slushy is next, number 523. He is designed to freeze anything with his icy breath, makes ice, and can also break apart into bits of ice and return to his original form. He caused a snowstorm in Hawaii when he was first activated, but once tamed, he started working at a local surf shack, making shaved ice. Here's a short group of unknown experiments. Experiment 529 is Digger, a yellowish meerkat-like experiment with a long drill-shaped tail. He was designed to dig or drill holes through planets. Now we have another unknown, number 530, Crybaby. There's a unique situation with experiment 532, Hissy. We know what it looks like, but its function is unknown. It's a green mole or chimp-like experiment with 6 hairs on its head, a very small body, and a stubby tail. It appeared in some Disney adventure comics, the ones where Jumba is creating Stitch. 532, Strato, is unknown. Moving on to Blowhard, number 533, he's a purple anteater-like experiment with a long trunk designed to immobilize any object by flying it like a kite. He found a home with Mrs. Hasagawa as one of her cats. Here's our next group of unknowns. Another experiment with windy powers is 540, Foon. She was designed to create massive typhoon-like winds, but found her home creating strong gusts for windsurfers on the beach. Little info is known about 541, Swell, 542, Holly, or 543, Franklin. Now we have Thresher, 544, who is a small purple slug-like experiment with a slim body, a wide mouth, 2 eyes, 6 spiky, mace-like tentacles, and 3 short legs. He's designed to thrash crops with his mace-like appendages. Check out this lengthy list of unknown experiments. At 566, we have Derek, a gray dinosaur-like experiment wearing a construction helmet with a tail that resembles a drill. He's designed to drill potholes and later lives with Mrs. Hasagawa as one of her cats. The following list shows quite a few lesser-known experiments. Next is Tank 586, a round orange armadillo bulldog-like experiment with thick legs, sharp teeth, and a short tail. He was designed to eat metal and grows bigger each time he does. His body gives off huge destructive blasts. Now he works in emergencies to absorb power surges or stop energy-based threats. He will close out the 5 series with a lengthy list of lesser-known experiments. Finally, we've made it to the 6 series made up of battlefield and doomsday experiments with galactic implications. Kicking it off as 600, Whoops. He was designed to be indestructible and able to do anything. He has all the powers of Stitch, but is a klutz who accidentally bumps into everything. The only thing he can say is, whoops. He is the first prototype of Stitch and is considered a failure due to his extreme clumsiness. 601 is Kicks, designed to be a bully with special kickboxing skills. His true calling is teaching kickboxing, and he even has his own instructional video titled Kickboxing with Kicks. Moving down to Sinker at 602, he's a parody of the shark in the movie Jaws, as he's a small purple shark-like experiment designed to destroy and sink enemy ships with his large dorsal fin. He makes use of his skills at a Japanese restaurant where he uses his large fin to cut up vegetables and fillet fish for the chefs to make sushi. Zap is next at 603. He is designed to be a living laser bolt. Zap can hover in place and move side to side without moving forward, similar to a helicopter. He's capable of destroying targets at incredibly high speeds and can fly and bounce off surfaces like an ordinary laser. Let's wave our magic wand and make number 604, Houdini, appear. He's designed to make anything, including himself, disappear with a blink of his huge eyes, though he can also make them reappear. His eyes are sensitive to intense light, so anything like a camera flashing will cause him to blink reflexively and randomly make surrounding objects or creatures disappear. He is named after Harry Houdini and works as a Hollywood magician. Experiment 605, Warpstron, is unknown. However, 606, Holio, who looks like a chipmunk, can create a matter-sucking black hole when he opens his mouth. His true calling is working on construction sites, clearing up trash by sucking in what is no longer needed. Let's blast off to 607, Launch. He looks like a mole rat with 4 spines on its back. He has quite the interesting power designed to wrap the fabric of time and space, causing the entire universe to collapse upon itself. Experiment 608 is Slugger, designed to deflect projectiles with his tail shaped like a baseball bat. He found his calling as an assistant coach for Little League Baseball. Feeling the heat at 609 is, well, Heat. He looks like a small red dog and is designed to fire rays of flaming heat from the blowtorch-like feature on his forehead. Experiment 610 is named Witch, and that's what she is. She was designed to utilize supernatural powers in order to subdue and abduct planetary leaders. Her powers include intangibility, animation, and various other reality-bending abilities. Next, we have 611, Elfin. He was designed to make the universe implode when Jumba speaks the password. Fortunately, Jumba forgot the password. Gansu, at one point, mixed them up with Experiment 119. 612, Blandzilla is unknown. Experiment 613 is Yarp, has a long tail, which he uses as a spring to quickly hop from place to place, and a single megaphone-like antenna on his head. He was designed to make a deafening sonic blast, using his normally curled-up antenna to emit the blasts. The next three experiments are unknown: 614, Gunner, 615, Yoki, and 616, Joey. At 617, we have Plasmoid, a large green scorpion-like experiment with a pincer-less tail. He was designed to shoot explosive balls of plasma from his tail. He has also displayed the ability to vacuum up objects and use them as projectiles. 618, Crystalline, is unknown. Experiment 619 is Splody Head, or Splody for short. He was designed to shoot fiery red plasma blasts from his nose, as well as to see in the dark and climb on walls and ceilings. He's quite handy at lighting tiki torches. As we turn to page at 620, we have no information. We do know a lot about 621, Chop Suey. He's a skinny green version of Stitch with all of Stitch's powers and is jealous of all the attention Stitch gets. He also has the strange ability to mutate when his power is charged to the max. The next two experiments are unknown: 622 Jumby and 623 Trainer. We're getting very close to the real Stitch now, so the next few will look a lot like our guy. Experiment 624 is Angel, a pink female experiment with a strong feminine resemblance to Stitch and his primary love interest. Designed to sing a song that turns good experiments to bad, though it also works on Jumba. Stitch and Reuben are immune to her song's effect, as they were created after Angel. The spell can be reversed by Angel singing the song backwards or by playing a recording of her song in reverse. She is in love with Stitch and is the closest one to him. Reuben comes at 625. He has all the powers of Stitch but is incredibly lazy and tends to be a coward, making him almost useless as a villain. He is able to produce large quantities of sandwiches, particularly cheese sandwiches. He speaks English with a hint of a Brooklyn accent. Reuben serves as Gantu's wisecracking sidekick during the series, making witty remarks and often taunting and verbally abusing him. He occasionally teams up with Stitch against Gantu, mainly if Stitch is acting alone. After receiving his name and working alongside Lilo in Leroy and Stitch, he found his true calling alongside a newly commissioned Captain Gantu as his galley officer, who had been growing fond of his egg salad. He is later an ally to Stitch. We finally made it to our main man, the star of the show, Experiment 626, Stitch. Stitch was designed to be a destructive force with near limitless power, incredible strength, agility, and even a brain that rivals Jumba's. He is virtually indestructible, super intelligent, and very mischievous. He can think faster than a supercomputer, is both fireproof and bulletproof, can spit acid, has super hearing and vision, can see in the dark, jump really high, can climb up walls and walk on ceilings. His only weakness is water, as he cannot swim due to his molecular density. When he becomes good, he has a heart of gold. Lilo helped Stitch find purpose, love, and the meaning of Ohana. His journey is the emotional core of the franchise and finds his true calling as Lilo's pet. Now we have Experiment 627, who is the only activated experiment that doesn't have a name. Created by Jumba to be even more powerful than Stitch, 627 has all of Stitch's abilities, plus more. He's physically stronger, can regenerate rapidly, and is basically invincible, but he can't stop laughing. Constant laughter makes him completely unfocused, which becomes his fatal flaw. Stitch tricks him into laughing himself into defeat, and he's quickly recontained. Jumba never reactivates him. Experiment 628 is another we know little about. Never seen in the series, 628 is Jumba's next attempt after 627. The creators confirm that 628 exists, but he was never officially released. Some fans theorize he was even stronger, but unstable to the point of being unusable. He remains in cold storage, a true mystery. Experiment 629, Leroy, is the final known experiment created by Dr. Hamstervale, who forced Jumba to build him using Stitch's specs. Leroy looks like Stitch, but is red with spiky fur. He's just as strong and smart, but he's completely evil and loyal to Hamstervale. Leroy's weakness? He short-circuits when he hears Elvis music. In Leroy and Stitch, Lilo and the Ohana defeat hundreds of Leroy clones by playing a live version of Aloha Oe. It's one of the biggest and wildest finales of the franchise. To round out our comprehensive list, there are 3 experiments with names but no numbers. First is Tippy, similar to a doll with 4 eyes and dressed in a pink dress. Her function is unknown, but when she panics, she knocks over everything in her path. She appeared in the Disney Adventures comics and spends her days with Lilo as her doll. Skunkana is next and looks like a skunk, and was designed to fire pink spheres of a repulsive odor from underneath his fur. It is also shown that when his odor is mixed with Mr. Stenchy's, it can be used as an air freshener. Finally, we have Dark End, a purple skunk-like creature designed by the villain Delia to defeat Stitch. And that's it. All 629 known experiments plus a few extras across Lilo and Stitch the series, Stitch the movie, and Leroy and Stitch, and a few specials and foreign releases. It's one of the most fun, weirdly in-depth catalogs of characters in Disney history. Thanks for watching. Comment your favorite below.